The night before the wedding, Ethan coaxed me into giving him my first time. The next morning, I painfully climbed out of his bed. I unintentionally overheard him chatting with his childhood friend in his study. Hey, wasn't it thrilling last night when I told you to play with her like that in bed? If I hadn't told you to take a permanent marker and write whore, bitch, slut, and other dirty words all over her while she was disoriented, you definitely wouldn't have had such a stimulating time. Ethan replied indulgently, you really outdid yourself. His childhood friend flirtatiously pleaded with him. Honestly, you're marrying her. And I actually feel a little sad to lose you. Ethan spoke casually. I was just playing around with her, on the wedding day. You can crash the wedding to take the groom, and he'll leave with you. Wouldn't it be fun to publicly humiliate her? I put down my phone, not crying or making a scene. I simply booked a plane ticket to study abroad. The departure date was the same as the wedding day. Leaning against the door, listening to them talk, even my fingertips trembled. Chloe's tone was gleeful. Hey, Luna was our college's campus belle, and you just slept with her and turned her into a used, broken-down piece. You're absolutely wicked, Ethan casually said. Don't say such unpleasant things. She enjoyed it last night too. She pursued me for 3 years in college, so sleeping with her was also fulfilling her wish. It's also her own fault. I only agreed to marry her, but now she's become increasingly clingy and too controlling. My escaping the wedding is meant to be a punishment for her. His tone was so matter-of-fact, I felt a chill run through me. My head spun, and I almost collapsed. I leaned against the wall to steady myself. I didn't know when I had fallen asleep last night, or rather, passed out. It was my first time, and the preparation and post-coital cleanup hadn't been done. I touched my forehead. It was burning hot. I must have a fever. Inside the study, Ethan spoke blandly. There's something I forgot to ask. Last night was her first time, and I couldn't hold back. So I finished inside her and didn't have time to clean up. She's delicate and had a bit of a fever in the latter half of the night. You're a girl. You'd understand better. What should I do? Chloe, however, replied indifferently. Can't believe your fiancée is such a drama queen. What could possibly be wrong? You absolutely mustn't pamper her too much, or she'll be a handful later. My nails dug deeply into my palms as I held my breath, waiting for Ethan's response. He only stayed silent for a moment before responding. All right, I'll do whatever you say. I froze there, utterly drained of strength. A coldness enveloped me, as if I were in an icebox. I thought he would care about me at least a little, even just a tiny bit. Chloe flirtatiously pleaded on the phone. Okay, enough about your boring fiancé. I want breakfast from that place in downtown. Come get me some. Ethan frowned. I need to help Luna wash up first and get those words off her body before she finds them. Chloe was displeased. No, it's more fun if she finds out. Oh, don't worry. She's so desperate for you that even if she finds out, she wouldn't dare break up with you. Besides, maybe she even likes being treated that way. Come on, I'm starving. All right, you little glutton. What do you want? I'll bring it to you. Ethan hung up the phone and left in a hurry. He didn't spare a thought for me, who was still burning with fever after that absurd night with him. After left, in the bathroom, I slowly unbuttoned my white shirt. Because of my strict upbringing, I had always been quite conservative about premarital sex, planning to give myself to him only after marriage. Last night, Ethan pinned me to the bed, sweet-talking me. Are you sure you don't want to try? It'll be too late after we're married if you're not satisfied with me in that area, Darling, don't you want to test me out? His beautiful, soulful eyes were filled with deep affection. I couldn't utter a word of refusal, so last night, enchanted by him, I stumbled into bed with him. He held me, without restraint, taking me again and again. When I was disoriented, he picked up a permanent marker and, holding my thigh, wrote on my body. The cold sensation startled me. What are you writing? He leaned down and kissed my forehead, softly saying, silly, of course, I'm writing I'll love you forever. The last button came undone. My shirt fell to the floor. I looked in the mirror, my eyes wide, my body trembling uncontrollably. Degrading and filthy words appeared all over my body. Last night, he had carefully held me in his arms, coaxing me. It's my first time too. I don't have much experience. I'm afraid I'll mess it up and make you uncomfortable. His warm breath lingered near my ear, carrying a strange heat. I endured the pain and told him, it's okay. He pressed me beneath him, wiping away my tears with his thumb. Be a good girl, just bear with it. It'll be comfortable soon. Luna, I'm your first man. You must remember me forever. I thought he truly loved me, which was why he agreed to marry me. I thought the words he gently wrote on me, covering my eyes, truly meant he loved me forever. But in reality, he was counting down the days to escape the wedding, to publicly humiliate me and turn me into a joke. In reality, another woman taught him how to play with me, how to write all sorts of indecent words on my body: whore, bitch, slut, toilet. When I was lost in thought, the lower part of my abdomen, which Ethan had kissed, even had "I'm a slut, please use me as you wish" written on it. My self-esteem, which had been so well protected since childhood, crumbled bit by bit at that moment. I had never felt so miserable. I leaned against the wall, taking deep breaths, trembling all over. An unspeakable pain pulls from an unspeakable place. I clutched my stomach, wanting to sob, to scream, to hysterically smash everything within reach. I wanted to rush over and confront Ethan immediately, to ask him why he would do this. I only loved him. What terrible thing had I done to make him treat me this way? But in the end, I numbly submerged myself in the bathtub. The unsightly marks had already dried on my skin. They were hard to wash off, with reddened eyes. I scrubbed my body almost masochistically. My skin turned crimson, raw, even seeping with blood. Yet I felt no pain. But even so, those filthy words seemed to be ingrained in me, impossible to wash clean. I sank into deep self-loathing. I bit my lip, hugging myself, trying hard to hold back my tears, but they poured down uncontrollably, splashing into the bathtub. That day, I painstakingly tried to clean those dirty things from my body with my fingers, alone. Then I huddled in a corner, humiliated, and swallowed a birth control pill alone. Ethan didn't send me any messages until evening. At p.m., Chloe posted a video on her social media. In the video, they were playing Truth or Dare with a group of old classmates. Chloe quickly lost and was challenged to French kiss someone. If the chosen person refused her, Chloe would be punished by having to take off an article of clothing in public. Chloe, blushing, walked up to Ethan. "Ethan, you wouldn't want to publicly humiliate me, would you?" Ethan looked at her, neither agreeing nor refusing. The next second, Chloe wrapped her arms around his neck, stood on her toes, and kissed his lips. Ethan paused but didn't push her away, closing his eyes and accepting the kiss. They kissed deeply, their pink tongues intertwining repeatedly, creating a long, drawn-out kiss. It was a long time before they separated. Both their faces were flushed. Around them, people were hooting and cheering. Chloe smiled. "You have my lipstick mark on your lips. Your fiancée won't get so jealous that she breaks up with you, will she?" Ethan belatedly wiped his lips, his voice soft but resolute. "Overthinking it. She'd never leave me." I suddenly felt nauseous and ran to the bathroom, throwing up for a long time that day, because of my fever. I vaguely curled up on the couch and slept until midnight. Ethan must have come back at some point. The living room light was on. I was drenched in cold sweat, unable to get up for a long time. The next second, I heard Ethan's frantic footsteps. "Luna, why are you so hot?" I tried to open my eyes, but found it incredibly difficult to even move a single finger. After that, I lost consciousness. The next morning, I woke up in the hospital. Ethan was holding my hand, his eyes faintly dark, as if he had stayed up all night watching over me. Seeing me awake, he was first delighted, then sighed. "Why are you so bad at taking care of yourself? What would you do without me? You're very weak now. The doctor said you need to eat more. Look, I specially bought you your favorite porridge from that shop." He deliberately lowered his voice to threaten me. "I stood in line for a long time to buy this for you. You need to eat more, or you'll regret it tonight." I turned over and mumbled, "I don't want to eat." He sounded a little anxious. "What's wrong, darling? Are you uncomfortable somewhere?" I cut him off. "Please leave. I want to be alone." Ethan helplessly stroked my head. "Are you mad at me for not staying with you yesterday?" "Baby, I'm sorry. I just wanted to marry you sooner, so I was busy preparing for the wedding with people yesterday. I want to give you the most perfect wedding. I apologize for not noticing you were sick. I'll make it up to you. Please be merciful and forgive me." I bit my lip, holding back tears. Liar. How could he tell lies so calmly and composedly? Ethan scooped a bowl of porridge for me, blew on it, and spoon-fed it to me. "I know you don't have an appetite, but eat a little something. Come, I'll feed you." I avoided him and forcefully pushed his hand away. He lost his grip, and the bowl crashed to the floor, shattering into pieces with an ear-splitting sound. Ethan's hand remained suspended in mid-air. He froze for a moment. Then his tone became a little impatient. What kind of tantrum are you throwing now? Is it just because of those words I left on your body last night? I looked at him without speaking. He continued, "Stop making a fuss. Isn't it normal for couples to play like this? Why are you being so delicate now? You can't even handle this. Look at Chloe. She never throws tantrums like you." Hearing the name Chloe, I couldn't hold back, and tears flowed uncontrollably. He paused, then frantically tried to wipe away my tears. "You're so grown up, yet you're still such a crybaby. All right, baby. I'm sorry. It's my fault. Your husband's fault. I won't do it again, okay?" I forcefully threw a pillow at him. "Get out. I don't want to see you." Ethan's head was hit by the pillow, and he gradually lost his patience for comforting me. He looked at me with disappointment, as if looking at an unreasonable child. "Fine, I'll go. You're an adult now. You can't keep throwing tantrums like a child. I hope you've calmed down by the time I see you tomorrow." He dropped these words and left. I felt a lump stuck in my chest, neither going up nor down. From then on, I locked myself in, not leaving the house. It wasn't until a week later, when I walked into the bathroom and saw my haggard reflection in the mirror, that I froze. My eyelids were swollen, my lower eyelids were bruised, and my eyes were filled with visible red veins. In just a few days, I had lost so much weight I was barely recognizable. I looked completely different from my formerly vibrant and beautiful self. I stared unblinkingly at the mirror, questioning myself. How did I end up like this? How did I become like this because of a man? I angrily took off my clothes and, naked, stepped into the shower, lathering myself with shower gel and scrubbing vigorously. I put on a sexy red dress, as I used to, applied beautiful makeup, and made myself look exquisite down to every strand of hair. As I was about to leave, I received a call from my professor. She had always taken good care of me and appreciated my talent in art design. At that moment, her tone was serious. "Luna, I'm checking one more time. That university in France you applied for PhD admission to sent you an offer. Are you really going to give it up because of marriage? The professors there think highly of you. Are you sure you want to abandon your future and stay in the States to get married?" When I was in college, I prepared for studying abroad for graduate school, spending countless days and nights in the library. But once I actually pursued Ethan, I started to waver. Ethan was the student body president back then, aloof, from a prominent family, and completely unapproachable. If I could say a single word to him in a week, I would secretly rejoice. When we were dating, most of the time, I was the one taking the initiative. Sometimes, if I didn't text him first, he might not even remember to chat with me. I knew that with Ethan's personality, he would never accept a long-distance relationship. I put in great effort to maintain our relationship. Later, we finally reached the point of getting engaged, and I became even more reluctant to leave. But now, I gritted my teeth, gripped the phone, and said decisively, "Professor, I'm going." My professor's surprised voice came from the other end of the line. "That's wonderful. You finally came to your senses. For a woman, a future is the most important thing. If a man can't handle a long-distance relationship, it means he doesn't love you enough. In that case, he's simply not worth your love." That day, I talked with my professor for a very long time, confirming my departure date for studying abroad and my future plans. After hanging up, I booked my plane ticket for abroad. The departure date was the same as the wedding day. I gritted my teeth and told myself, "Luna, you can do this. Don't ever live like this, in such a mess, because of a man again, since wants to escape the wedding and publicly humiliate me. Why don't I escape first and turn him into a complete joke?" In the following days, I kept it a secret from Ethan, handling my passport and visa, and preparing for studying abroad. Because of my busyness, I gradually forgot about Ethan. On the 5th day, counting down to the wedding, Ethan suddenly said he wanted to take me to meet the parents, and I was momentarily stunned. When first said he wanted me to meet his parents, I was so nervous I couldn't sleep all night, constantly worrying if they would like me. I even dragged my best friend, Olivia, to the mall all day to pick out an outfit for meeting the parents. But now, I realized I no longer cared as much as I thought I would. I shook my head and said, "I don't want to go." He took my hand. "Luna, be good, stop causing trouble. This has been planned for a long time. Although my parents don't interfere with my relationships, you can only truly marry me if they approve of you. Don't you want my parents' blessing?" Not wanting Ethan to see my intention to escape the wedding, I perfunctorily nodded. When pulled me to his parents' house, he knocked on the door for a long time. It was Chloe who opened it. She was wearing loungewear and slippers, so casual, as if it were her own home. I froze. My palms turning cold, Ethan looked at her, his voice gentle. What are you doing here? Chloe naturally took the gift we bought for Ethan's parents. You're being too formal. We've grown up together since childhood, as childhood friends who were as close as could be. Of course, I had to come see what kind of person your fiancé picked. She looked me up and down with interest, then feigned surprise. This is our school's campus belle, and you got her so easily. How long did you even pursue her? A year? A month? Ethan said softly. Didn't need to. He smiled and casually added. She was begging for it. Chloe suddenly let out a snicker. She took Ethan's hand and said, All right, enough about her. Aunt and uncle have missed you terribly. Chloe intimately linked her arm through Ethan's, greeting his parents warmly. The atmosphere was lively, and she acted completely like the lady of the house. It was as if she were Ethan's rightful fiancé, and I was the other woman secretly peeking at their happiness. Every time I opened my mouth, Chloe eagerly interrupted me. I was left out, not knowing whether to stand or sit. At the dinner table, Chloe naturally sat next to Ethan. She casually gestured to me. You, over there, find a seat. Only a seat far from Ethan was left. Ethan didn't notice my awkwardness, chatting and laughing with Chloe. Normally, I would have made a scene. But now, looking at him like that, I suddenly felt it was pointless, and I couldn't be bothered to say another word. During dinner, Ethan's parents complimented me on my beauty. Chloe pouted. Luna isn't as innocent as she seems. She was our campus belle in college, and she dressed very provocatively. A lot of guys would stare at her chest in class. Ethan's expression gradually soured. He chuckled softly. She's no campus belle. At home, she usually wears t-shirts and sweatpants. Her hair's a mess, and she gets a shade darker in the summer. You could pull any random person off the street, and they'd look better than her. She also loves late-night snacks. She eats them and then swells up the next day, complaining about dieting while still eating. Where's the look of a beauty in that? If her old admirers knew she was like this, their perfect image of her would shatter. As he said these words, he leaned lazily back in his chair, slowly and methodically peeling a shrimp. Once peeled, he naturally placed the shrimp into Chloe's bowl. Chloe held her bowl, smiling. Why give it to me? Your fiancé is right here. Everyone else at the table seemed to belatedly remember something and observed my expression. Before I could speak, Chloe spoke first. She was all smiles. Sister-in-law, why do you look so unhappy? Are you angry that Ethan peeled a shrimp for me? Sister-in-law, please don't misunderstand. He and I are childhood friends. Ethan is very caring and has always peeled shrimp for me since we were little. We're just used to it. After saying that, she even affectionately draped her arm around Ethan's neck. Tell her, isn't that right? I clenched my hand. Ethan had never peeled shrimp for me. Once, on a date, I had my nails done and found it inconvenient to peel shrimp. I flirtatiously pleaded with him to peel a shrimp for me just once, but he frowned and refused without hesitation. Luna, you know I never like peeling shrimp. After that, I never brought it up again, even reflecting on whether I was being too demanding. But it turned out that he would willingly and uncomplainingly peel shrimp for someone else. Ethan noticed my expression was off and looked at me with a hint of reproach. Luna, Chloe has never peeled a shrimp herself since she was little. You shouldn't compare yourself to her. In a place Ethan couldn't see, Chloe provocatively curved her lips into a smile at me. I bit back my tears, forcing a bitter laugh. I haven't said anything yet. Why are you so overly protective? Ethan looked as if a sensitive spot had been hit, his expression unnatural. This is just a small matter. Don't be unreasonable. I put down my chopsticks. Since you think I'm being unreasonable, then I'll leave. I sprang to my feet, the chair scraping against the floor with a shrill noise. He grabbed my wrist. Luna, don't make a scene. Do you have to make things so ugly? I pushed his hand away. You're the one who made things ugly. Chloe sat there, eyes slightly red, saying helplessly, did I make sister-in-law angry? She bit her lip, then playfully chastised Ethan. It's all your fault for putting the shrimp in my bowl. I'm sorry, sister-in-law. I didn't mean it. I'll never let Ethan peel shrimp for me again. Please don't be angry. Ethan sighed softly. Chloe, you didn't do anything wrong. You don't need to apologize, Luna. You're making such a big deal out of this, and Chloe isn't even bothered. When will you be as sensible as her? My eyes welled up, and I couldn't hold back anymore. If she's so sensible, why don't you marry her? Ethan frowned. What nonsense are you talking about now? I shook him off and turned to leave. Ethan followed, trying to catch up, but tugged at the corner of his jacket from behind. Ethan, come back. You men are so foolish. You don't understand women at all. This isn't the time to go after her. You'll just make things worse. Women just get more dramatic the more you coddle them. Just let her calm down by herself. Ethan listened to her words, stood in place, looked at me, and truly didn't follow. Sometimes, I really wondered if he was Chloe's lapdog. If he would listen to whatever Chloe said, back home. The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. I took out scissors and cut up all the gifts I had given Ethan, then threw them away. I felt that the man I had once loved so deeply was, like these ruined gifts, gradually decaying, transforming into someone I didn't recognize at all. I detested him like this, and I detested my past self for having loved him that way. I maniacally smashed all the memories that belonged to us. Finally, I sat on the couch, head tilted back, holding back tears. Then, I quietly began packing my luggage for studying abroad. It wasn't until evening that Ethan finally returned. He saw my packed luggage and the mess in the room. Ethan frowned. Where are you going? We're getting married soon. Why are you packing now? He fired off a string of questions. My heart sank. But soon, I calmed myself and mumbled, Olivia asked me to go out for a couple of days. Olivia was my best friend, and Ethan knew her. Only then did he slowly relax. True. It's good to go out for a few days before the wedding and relax. I can handle the wedding preparations alone. He took my hand and pulled me onto the couch for a hug. All right. You've smashed what you needed to smash, and you've thrown your tantrum. You must feel better now. Don't dwell on what happened today. Chloe is still young and doesn't know any better. Don't be petty with her. I wanted to remind him that Chloe was a year older than me, but I opened my mouth and ultimately said nothing. I had already realized that even if I spoke, he wouldn't change. Ethan smiled. Why are you so quiet today? We're getting married soon. Let's not let this small matter hurt our relationship, okay? He kissed my hair. Don't be willful. I know you're saying one thing and meaning another, and you can't bear to break up with me. Every time we have the silent treatment, you can't help but cry and beg me to make up within a day. I know you too well, you weak-willed thing. On our wedding day, I'll make you the happiest bride in the world, okay? I didn't answer because we wouldn't be getting married, and there would be no future for us. The last day of the wedding countdown, Olivia took me to a bar for drinks. I had only told her about my plan to escape the wedding. She knew I was hurting and wanted to get me some handsome escorts to help ease the pain of heartbreak, but I wasn't in the mood. Just then, we suddenly heard a discordant noise. Chloe was sitting at a nearby bar counter, seemingly drunk, crying and arguing with a man. I recognized the man's back. It was Ethan. Chloe cried and hugged Ethan. Tomorrow, you'll completely belong to that woman. I'm so unwilling to accept it. Tomorrow, I'm going to crash the wedding to take the groom. You absolutely have to leave with me. We promise. You can't back out. Ethan's eyes darkened, and he pushed her away. Let go of me first, no. Chloe wrapped her arms around his neck, and her legs clamped even more tightly around his lean waist. If you don't promise me, I won't let go. The friends drinking with them also teased, Chloe really likes you too much. She must have had so much to drink tonight. Can you really bear to refuse her? Don't forget, when we were kids playing dress up, you even competed to play Chloe's husband? We've watched Chloe grow up, and we've never seen her cry like this. Why don't you just give in to her? Chloe, slurring, giggled. See? They're all on our side. Luna is the other woman. Ethan used his hand to push her face away. Stop it. Chloe took the opportunity to kiss his palm. You haven't tried me yet. Tonight, I'll give myself to you, okay? I saw Ethan's expression change. I couldn't describe how I felt. Until the end, I saw Chloe nestled in Ethan's arms, and he carried her away. That night, I called Ethan many times, but all my calls were rejected. My heart felt as if it were being slowly cut open by the dullest knife. My palms trembled slightly. I really wanted to rush up and expose them right then, but it wasn't time yet. I trembled as I gently hugged myself. I told myself, it's okay, Luna, it's almost over. On the wedding day, Ethan was impeccably handsome in a perfectly tailored suit. Chloe, on the other hand, wore her custom-made bridesmaid's dress, which looked like an evening gown and was even more luxurious than my privately custom-made wedding dress. Standing together, they actually looked quite well matched. I watched the live stream of the wedding on my phone. Chloe probably wanted everyone to see my pathetic state when the groom was taken from me, so she specifically found someone to set up a live stream. People in the live stream comments didn't know what was going on, but seeing it was a wedding, they all offered their blessings. Chloe, with her arm linked with Ethan's, fluttered around the crowd like a little butterfly, taking photos with everyone. She was so flashy that a stranger might think she was the bride that night. When asked, she smiled and said, "No, no, I'm not the bride, just the groom's childhood friend." "Really? I'm not as pretty as you say. If you praise me like this, the bride will be unhappy. She's actually quite narrow-minded." "Stop joking. Ethan and I have been close since childhood. We know all each other's embarrassing stories. How could I possibly be interested in him? But his conditions are indeed good. It's just his taste in brides isn't great. In college, he was always flirting around. His relationship history is a mess. Sigh, it's a bargain for that woman. But with me around, I'll definitely not let my childhood friend suffer any grievances with her." "Hey, she clenched her fist, as if cheering herself on. The people in the live stream comments heard this and started discussing the bride of the day, but by noon, the guests had mostly arrived, yet the bride was still nowhere to be seen. Ethan's expression changed, and he finally slowly realized something was wrong. He called me, but his call showed I had blocked him. He then messaged me, "Luna, what kind of tantrum are you throwing now? Is it just because I asked Chloe to be my bridesmaid without your permission? Do you really have to be so dramatic over such a small thing?" Just then, the guests at the wedding reception let out exclamations. On the large screen at the wedding venue, a recording of Ethan and Chloe's phone call appeared. "Hey, wasn't it thrilling last night when I told you to play with her like that in bed? If I hadn't told you to take a permanent marker and write whore, bitch, slut, and other dirty words all over her while she was disoriented, you definitely wouldn't have had such a stimulating time. You really outdid yourself. You know, you're marrying her, and I actually feel a little sad to lose you. I was just playing around with her. On the wedding day, you can crash the wedding to take the groom, and I'll leave with you. Wouldn't it be fun to publicly humiliate her? It's also her own fault. I only agreed to marry her, but now she's become increasingly clingy and controlling. My escaping the wedding is meant to be a punishment for her." The wedding instantly dissolved into chaos. Then, the large screen also displayed the video from yesterday, showing Chloe hugging Ethan at the bar and refusing to let go, saying she would give herself to him. Ethan covered her with his coat and gently carried her away. Anyone with half a brain could guess what happened between them later. Yes, Olivia had secretly recorded that scene yesterday. The number of viewers in the live stream comments soared, and it instantly became a chaotic discussion. "No way. She was trash-talking the bride so much, but it turns out she's the other woman herself. Someone's getting married tomorrow, and the day before, she's screaming about giving herself to the groom and even instigating him to escape the wedding. If I were the bride, I'd slap her. That woman deserves a slap, and the man deserves an even harder one. If the man doesn't cheat, the other woman won't have a chance to step in." So where's the bride? Did she escape the wedding? Isn't it obvious? The wedding's been going on for half a day, and the bride hasn't shown up. Hilarious. This guy planned to escape the wedding and publicly humiliate her. Now he gets a taste of being publicly humiliated himself. How does that feel? Chloe's face was pale, and she covered it, screaming, "Turn it off. Turn off the live stream." I closed my phone, preparing to board my flight. The wedding chaos had nothing to do with me anymore. After arriving in France, I devoted myself entirely to art. During the day, I studied my professional courses, and in the evenings, I practiced in the studio. On weekends, I attended academic lectures. The busyness gradually made me forget the troubling affairs back in the States. After saying goodbye to the past, I felt myself gradually gaining control of my life. I also met all sorts of people and learned many new things. Every day was fulfilling and happy. Before graduation, I designed a product that received industry recognition and earned a substantial amount in copyright fees. During the celebration, Olivia specifically flew abroad to drink with me all night. She recounted the things she had heard from back in the States as a joke. "After you escaped the wedding, Ethan went crazy looking for you, searching every possible place. Unfortunately, we all maintained a united front, and no one told him where you went. So of course he couldn't find you. He even came to me specifically to ask where you were. I told him if he drank a whole case of wine on the table, I'd consider telling him. In the end, he drank until he had stomach bleeding, and I still didn't tell him a single word. It was hilarious, so satisfying. His reputation is ruined now, and his company took a huge hit, and she completely lost contact with Ethan after that day, and now she can't even get into his house. And guess what? She later proved that a leopard doesn't change its spots and became the other woman to someone else's husband. She ended up caught cheating by the original wife, who recorded a video and posted it online. Now she's completely afraid to show her face. I smiled faintly and clinked glasses with her. It's all in the past. By now, I had completely moved on from Ethan. Hearing his name no longer stirred significant emotion in me. Now, every day, when I open my eyes, I have my own things to do. The more I focus on improving myself, the more I realize that men are just a flavor enhancer in life, not important at all. I thought my past behavior of giving up my offer to my dream university just to be with him was truly foolish. Olivia couldn't help but complain. Sigh, you've already escaped the wedding. And only now does that man realize how deeply he supposedly loves you. Who knows what he's thinking? I clinked glasses with her and scoffed. Who knows? After graduating, I returned to the States to start a business, opening my own studio. One evening, after I finished up at the studio and was packing to go home, I saw Ethan, who had come all this way, standing at my studio entrance. It was raining that day, and he stood in the rain, having waited for who knew how long. Luna, can you just hear me out? I remained expressionless, keeping my distance from him. What's the point? Water droplets clung to his eyelashes and the tips of his hair, and his shirt was soaked. Luna, please, just give me a chance to explain. You used to love me so much. Can you really just let go like that? He tried to take my hand, but I pulled away. I was a little impatient. No matter what explanation you give, I won't forgive you. He was persistent. I know I hurt you, but from today on, I'll do everything I can to make it up to you. Just give me one chance, and this time, I'll do things right. I gave a cold smile. Why should I give you a chance? Why should I waste my time on someone who isn't worth it? I already stumbled because of you once. I'm not going to give you another chance to hurt me. Ethan's eyes were red, and he urgently told me, Luna, I never actually intended to run from the wedding that day. I truly wanted to be with you. In college, the first time I saw you, my heart fluttered, but you always had so many admirers around you. When you first came to the student union to confess your feelings to me, I rejected you publicly, thinking you were too frivolous. But later, I actually fell for you. You easily won me over and had me wrapped around your finger, and I felt so embarrassed. That's why I said those things to Chloe, just to protect my ridiculous pride. I was just too foolish, too proud to admit it. Nothing actually happened between her and me that night. In my heart, you are my only love. He looked up at me. Will you forgive me and give me another chance? I looked at him calmly. Are you done talking? If you are, you can leave. Ethan froze. I looked at him mockingly. What's that expression for? Do you actually think that just because you bow your head to me, I'll forgive you? You're being incredibly presumptuous, Ethan. You make me sick. Late devotion is worthless, regardless of what happened between you and her. We are over. I walked past him and left. From then on, he came to my studio every day. He even used his connections to attract clients for me. Since they were free clients, I earned the money without any hesitation. Later, he came to the studio dressed in a suit and brought me a large bouquet of violets. His gaze was gentle. I know you've always liked these flowers. I saw them on my way here and specifically brought them for you. After you're done, I'll take you to that seafood restaurant you love, okay? He carefully took my hand. This time, I'll peel the shrimp for you. The street was bustling with people. Many were drawn to the scene and stopped to watch. I stomped the flowers firmly onto the ground right in front of him. Ethan, how shameless can you be? The flowers were crushed, a complete mess. I looked at Ethan's dazed expression, then turned and said, clean it up yourself, don't bother anyone else. His face flushed, then paled, as he picked up the flowers and ran away in embarrassment. After that, every time I left my studio, I found a bouquet of my favorite flowers at the door, sometimes violets, sometimes tulips, but without exception, I threw them into the trash. Later, I met someone who was very good to me. His name was Julian, a senior classmate I met while studying abroad at a university in France. He shared my views on art, came from a prominent family, and was a gentleman, kind and gentle, and he was always attentive to my feelings. That weekend, I put on makeup, applied lipstick, and wore my favorite outfit, getting ready for my date with Julian. But as I was leaving, I ran into Ethan at the intersection. Ethan looked defeated, his eyes filled with unwillingness. Luna, can't you stop being angry with me? You've loved me for so long. And we were so close to getting married. Are you really okay with letting that go? I was about to say something else when Julian suddenly hugged me from behind. Who's this? Julian knew about Ethan and me. He was smiling, but his face was full of hostility. Ethan's expression froze. After a long moment, he finally spoke. Who is he? Julian answered for me, Luna's fiancé. He even smiled as he handed Ethan an invitation. So interested in attending our wedding? Ethan stared at the invitation, standing rooted to the spot, almost losing his balance. In the end, he couldn't say anything and ran away awkwardly. Julian chuckled softly and bit my neck. I patted his furry head. What's wrong? Not happy? He replied, yeah, I'm jealous. That night, he made me pay for it, in a playful way, for a very long time later. Julian and Ethan were completely at odds with each other. Any project Ethan's family company discuss, Julian would immediately intercept the deals. Ethan probably never imagined that his life, which had always been smooth sailing, would have such frustrating moments. Later still, at Julian's and my wedding, I saw Ethan from afar. He met my gaze for a moment, then lowered his head, his back slightly bowed, as if he had fallen from grace, and left with red eyes. I stood on tiptoe, cupped Julian's face, and kissed his lips. Don't try to fix someone who doesn't value you. You should love someone who is inherently good and who is only good to you. Love that understands and cherishes each other is true happiness.